Hi, I'm Amelia.
And I'm Yvonne. Together, we wrote a book on female friendships, and boy, do we have questions.
We're here to continue the conversation and help women to navigate, cultivate, and celebrate female friendships.
This is Girl Friendships.
Today, we are going to talk about friendship roles and expectations. And I have a lot to say on this topic, so I've been elected to go first. So this very week, by the way, I've been talking about these pockets of friends that I have. This is about one of the pockets, my groups of friends. I think I've complained on other episodes. If I haven't, it's because I just didn't get a chance to yet. But these friends, we are good. We've known each other from our teenage years, and we have a long history together. But I'm the one who's been selected, I don't remember anymore, to be the organizer of our get-togethers. So I am tired of being the organizer of the get-togethers. I really am, and I've said to them in uncertain terms on many occasions, because I do not hold back sometimes, that I'm tired. I don't want to be the one to organize every single get-together. If I don't organize something, we don't go anywhere. And everybody keeps saying, let's do something. We ought to get together. Oh, we should plan a trip. But nobody does anything about it. So they have not been doing anything about it. So this week, 2 weeks ago, I said to one of them when I called, and when that person said, oh, we should have another get-together, and I'm going, good, you have some time on your hands, why don't you organize it? And she goes, oh yeah, I'll put something on our group chat, which she did. She said, listen, you ladies, this time that we get together. And I, being Yvonne, chimed in right away to say, oh, would love to. Why don't we do like a spa day? And some of the others chimed in and they go, great, a spa day. I was even generous. I said, here's a place which I think will be good. Nothing. 2 weeks later, nothing. So I put a prompt in our chat to say, hello, are we still going on this thing? Because my calendar gets filled up pretty quickly. And everybody say, oh yeah, those dates are good with me. And I'm going, yeah, so someone gonna organize it because it will not be me. So stay tuned. I will come back here and tell you if they pick up the mantle and they organize this thing. The bottom line is that at some point in our friendship group, I must have elected, because I'm pretty organized. If I say something from my mouth to action, it will be done. So my need for control probably is what prompted me to take that role. But I'm getting older. I don't need to control everything anymore. And I say to my friends, I do not want to be in this role anymore. We are all capable, growing people. And I was going to say something else. So we can all take us coordinating it. And it hasn't happened. Or if it happens, it's just something simple like, we'll come over to your house. Well, duh. Anybody could do that, So this is my aims. We get into these roles sometimes because of us, I think, or our need to organize or control things. Well, what do you think? Is that true?
Yeah, well, it's so funny because as you say that, of course, I'm thinking that I have the opposite role. Not completely opposite, but pretty much completely.
You're one of those. No,
I am the person who, if you suggest a get together and you suggest a place and you say you want to meet up, I will say yes, absolutely, I will be there. Unless a bus hits me that day, I will be there. We make plans. But am I the one driving it and reaching out and organizing it? Probably not. But I definitely fan the flames of my friends' enthusiasm. I'm definitely the yes person. I'm definitely the spontaneous person. If somebody wants to meet up with me in a last minute, I love spontaneous plans. And so as I've thought about this, I really see that my role is as the flexible, spontaneous, enthusiastic person who will support my friends. Yeah, kind of the cheerleader, but it's not just cheerleading because it's also from the perspective of plans, right? That if a friend says to me, hey, let's book a weekend trip, let's go somewhere, I'll say, yeah, absolutely, let's do it. So I think from that, I think there are maybe other people who will say, oh yeah, maybe at some point, or, ooh, I don't know if I have money in my budget right now. Whereas I tend to say yes to my friends, and I tend to want to support their plans and the things that they get excited about.
Okay. So you saying that makes me think about the question I kind of posed earlier, which is, so my need to control because I have a schedule that I like things to be in my calendar, right? And when they take forever to make a decision, then that bothers me, because then I feel like I'm left in limbo. So because of my need to control, I think that's why I have taken on the role of organizer. So sometimes maybe then the roles we end up playing in our friendship groups or dyads comes from our own need.
100%. 100%. Actually, just this past winter, I became accredited in a personality assessment called Facet 5. And it's based on the Big Five personality model. But one of the things is control. And I'm like a 1.1 out of 10.
Right.
And the interesting thing about the score is that it's calculated based on a global norm group. So your scores are only in relation to other people. And so I'm like extremely, really low. And so what that means is I'm often the one saying, yeah, if that's the way that you want to do it, if that's how, if I'm going with a friend on a trip, and they're saying, okay, I want to go see this place and I want to go see this place, I'll say, okay, great. Now, I do believe that more over time, I have built stronger boundaries and also become more aware of my own preferences.
Right.
And started to, build out some things that I want to do. And, and I think it also depends on the person that I'm traveling with, because I say this as I'm planning a trip with my sister's boyfriend, and my husband. And so now it's definitely becoming clear to me that I think that I see things a certain way. I'm definitely an optimizer. And
what does that mean?
An optimizer is to give you a perfect example, when I was a kid, I went skating every single Friday. And I would get there 15 minutes before it started. And then I would have to skate the entire time until they blew the whistle, because I just wanted to
optimize.
Maybe maximize is actually the right word. Maybe not even optimize, because optimizing for some would be not skating until their, legs hurt. But so maximizing every opportunity. So, there are still some kind of worldview things that happen where I think, okay, but it should be this way, or you should have planned it like this, or, so those things are coming up, as I plan this trip with my sister. But in general, I would say that, the things that other people want to do, I'll be like, okay, yeah, sounds great. Yeah, you want to go see that? You want to go do that? I'm fine with that.
Okay. So Jessica, what do you think about this topic of roles? Do you have a friendship group, and do you find that you play a role in those friendship groups?
Yes and no. I guess for me, Art of My Friends, it was a friendship group. And while we are friends, we treat each other more like siblings now than friends. So it's everyone kind of has certain things that they know they're good at or whatever, but we all are on the same page. Because the anecdotal example that I always provide is when we were young and growing up in church, our parents would be busy doing things with different church activities. We'd go and get money from either my grandmother or somebody else and go and buy food either from the store in the gym, or get pizza across the street. Regardless of whatever it was, there was 4 of us. We were going to split whatever money we had 40 days and figure out how to split the food as well, to the point where we're drinking those little juice bottles. Oh, you drink till this part, you drink till this part, this part's a little wider, so you drink till this part.
Oh, really?
We were 10. Yeah. So it's when I went out into other spaces, and it's this is the clear leader of the friend group, this is the clear whoever, I was I'm not used to this dynamic, because we always just shared everything even.
Yeah.
So
democratic.
Yeah, and now that we're older, like, there's one friend who's usually more busy than the rest of us, but if we're all free, we can get together. It's the same thing all over again, because we were sitting down, sharing a pizza, and we're like, oh, it's an incorrect number of slices for us, so you get this slice, and we'll split this one. We're still doing it. Yeah. 18 years later.
I think that's awesome.
So, yeah, every friendship group then has its own dynamic. So I'm doing a lot of self-reflection these days. So I'm trying to figure out, why does this bother me? Because it's getting annoying.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but annoyance doesn't come from outside. It's coming from inside, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm feeling ticked off by this, what is that saying about me?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I know the answer, but I'm going to speculate. And my speculation it's a speculation. I'm not sure. I'm wondering if these people who are my friends and who I know they will come if there's an issue. Maybe we're growing apart. Maybe we're at a stage in our friendship now where I guess maybe the part that's sort of hurting me, the annoyance. Like, if I don't organize us getting together, it won't happen, which means it's almost like the example I used in many episodes back away. You're the only one holding up the friendship.
Yeah.
And maybe it's not holding up the friendship, but that's how I'm feeling. That's why it's annoying. And I'm going, they should do better. Like, I'm annoyed with them that they're not stepping up. And they choose to default. Even the last time I caved and I organized something. Yeah. I was just, I don't know why you keep arguing about this thing. It's just what you do. And so sometimes you've played a role and you don't want to do that role anymore. Or if the role is intrinsic to a friendship, just like the sharing of the pizza, right? Make sure everybody gets the part. Then I'm expecting, maybe I'm expecting that if you're my friend, you're going to step up. If I say, this is burdensome to me, I don't want to do it anymore, and you should step up.
Yeah.
Is that fair expectation?
I mean, it's the way that I see it is feelings are always fair. No, that's what I think, right? If you feel as though this time around or next time around or the next few times around you want somebody else to take charge, I don't think that's a huge expectation to place on someone, so let's put it that way. And so I think that your feelings are fair. And then what I'm wondering, as you say this, is if you're starting to feel as though you care more about this friendship than your friends do. Is that sort of what you're feeling, where you think that, okay, well, me planning and organizing and messaging you guys is because I care? Or are you starting to feel like maybe they don't care as much as you?
I've never gone down that rabbit hole, but it's possible. Before in other episodes, we talked about friends for a season, friends for, cutting our friends slack. And, maybe they're all at different stages in their lives now where time is not. But I was always busy.
Yeah.
I have more time now, but I just don't want to do all the organizing to get a group together. So I don't know why. And I don't know why they are resisting. And I don't know why because they are, like I said, they're capable human beings. They organize other aspects of their lives. They have to take responsibility for that. So now, let's say I organize an event. I suppose it's easy for the person who just comes along to say, well, why don't you get a different road? I'm going to shoot you. I'm really going to cut you. I can't say that. Because it's like, you don't get to complain when you didn't offer to organize. Yeah, you do not earn that right.
Do you foresee that happening? Has that happened before?
Well, sometimes people are late with their payment, and then I kind of have to, chip in the extra money. If it's a flight to be booked, there's a deadline with things, yeah. And because everybody said they were on board, and they said, are you sure monies need to be in by this date, this time? Sometimes you get it on time, sometimes you don't get it on time.
Yeah.
But the money is good. It will come. It's not like they're going to chip me or whatever. But it's like, it's not always on the timetable that I asked their approval, right?
Yeah.
And they agreed to.
Yeah.
So what do you expect?
Yeah.
So I guess it's accumulation of annoyance.
That sounds like it could be. Yeah.
But yeah, it's like we all gravitate, probably because, as I said before, from a personal need to certain aspects of friendships. You know, in that friendship group, I am the affirmer, but I will be the affirmer in every friendship group.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because that's my love language, or one of my love language. And that one does not annoy me to give.
Mm-hmm.
I organize because I can. I don't organize because I love organizing.
Yeah.
So it's always putting me in a space where it's not where you're sending me to my happy place to do. I can get it done. So sometimes I think those are the roles we fully.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is you could start to resent your friends if you think to yourself that, oh, if I didn't organize something, then it's not going to happen. So literally, if I stopped holding up this friendship, would this friendship go away, right?
Yeah, and I don't think it will go away. The frequency of our get-togethers might be less.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this is where I'll go into where I'm just going to go. I know you guys are there. If something happens, you'll be there. But I guess I'm missing my friends and the get together. And I know that when we get together, it's really rich.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I've got role fatigue. This is a real thing.
Role fatigue.
I got role fatigue. And if any of you are listening out there, you're going through the same thing with your friendship groups, maybe, think about the role you play. Are you the one who's always organizing things? Are you the one who's always blah, 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 whatever the thing is? And did you elect that role?
Mm-hmm.
Or were you selected or elected for that role? Roll told.
Yeah.
In the book, we have an example of the friendship group who kind of got together for a weekend, and everybody was chatting and it was getting late. So somebody said, oh, let's order food. By the time they figured out what they wanted to order, let's say you, Amelia, picked up the phone and you ordered the food and you go, oh, forget it. You can't step aside. I'll just order something.
Yeah.
Right? So you order the food and the food came and the food was really, really good. Suddenly, you're expected to be the food organizer every time we get together, right?
Yeah.
And you kind of go, I did it just that one time.
This time. And only because I was getting annoyed.
And then it's not free.
Yeah, I was hungry and I was annoyed.
Right. So, there's some roles where we're kind of, we feel like we've been backed into. So what do we do when we have one, role fatigue, or two, how do you negotiate with your friends?
Yeah. The way that
Change your role.
Yeah, I mean, I think with everything, a good, honest conversation, and try also not to use, words like always, even if that's what's true. And it's true. I believe it. But as soon as you say something like I always or you never, people get very defensive, right? And then the other thing that happens is people start to pick on the fact. So they'll say, oh, what about back then in 2009? I super duper believe that I organized that trip to the Pizza Hut or whatever it was, right?
Most of this friendship, they will agree, because I did back out a couple of times, and the other one who has a strong need to organize as well, picked up the role.
Yeah.
So it happens.
Yeah. Whereas if you say something like, listen, I feel like, the last 2 or 3 things that we've done, I felt like I was heavily involved with the organization of it and the planning of it and the buying the tickets and things like that. Could someone please take over for this next thing? Because I really, really want to see you all. But I feel as though I'm starting to resent the fact that this feels like it's all placed on me to do it. And I just want to know that you care as much as I do and that you're willing to chip in and help.
Yes. And I've had that conversation.
Okay. How'd that go?
They tried to organize one event. And what I got back was, this is what you're supposed to do.
Gotcha.
It's almost like this is a lot of work.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it, but they don't see the back end work. So I guess maybe part of that, what you're saying is that sometimes when you try to negotiate, because I'm pretty outspoken, I will say what I mean, and I don't always come at it from this strong point of view. I said, guys, we said the last time we'd get together, I went to organize the whole thing, and da-da-da-da. Next time, somebody pick it up. Everybody's saying, yeah, but we will. Even though there's one who will always say, but you do it so much better. So, and I'm going, but I don't want to do it anymore. Yeah. So it's when you clearly state it to your friends, I know I've done this. I know I can do it. I don't want you to do it.
Yeah.
And sometimes you do get resistance to that because it means that somebody else has to put themselves out, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know what you do after that. It probably means that we won't go away.
It could. It definitely could. And I think the other thing too is at some point, if you've had this conversation with your friends and you received a lukewarm response, at some point you can say, hey, I care about these friends too much to do something that I will later resent them for.
Right.
So I'm going to hold off on planning something and I'm just going to take some time doing other things, focusing on my other friends. And I think that's okay too, right? If you've been clear as honest,
Been doing it.
Yeah.
I did. I would see a message in the friendship chat to say, oh, it's been a long time since we got together. But I'm going, well, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it has. Yeah, it does.
It does. Life happens.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe are we kind of close to ending this, or are there other things we want to talk about in this? Maybe to look at our roles, as much as we love our friends and we want to celebrate all that's good about our female friendships, sometimes we do get role fatigue.
Yeah.
And that could, affect the friendship. And if it's not addressed, and maybe the question is, do we feel comfortable airing to our friends or saying out loud to our friends, like, I've been doing this for a while. So, if anybody listening, if you had found ways to renegotiate your friendship roles, by all means,
Yeah.
tell us about it, and we will be glad to share. But I had angst today, so I got to take the lead. I got to take the lead on this one.
Yeah.
But roles and expectations are a real thing. But I think maybe the message I would like to leave, in case it got obscured in everything we're talking about, is sometimes we take on roles because we need to play that part. Other times we get roles because we did it once well.
Yeah.
Right? Or sometimes we didn't even talk about power dynamics, and sometimes you are assigned roles by whoever is the leader. Because in friendship groups, sometimes there's a power dynamic.
Yeah.
Who is the one, who is the responsible one for whatever. So those are all things you can chime in on and tell us what roles you play. Any kind of word, Amelia?
No, I think you sold that up really well.
All right. Well, until next time, we will keep you posted to see if anything happens with this friendship group, and if we do get an event going.
Yes, and thank you for listening.
Perfect. Have a good one. You've been listening to the Girl Friendships Podcast with Yvonne and
Amelia. Thanks for listening. You can find us wherever you listen to your favorite podcast.
Leave a comment, please, to let us know your thoughts.
And come back next time for another episode of Girl Friendships.